What makes a cannibal want to do what they do? Is it a case of an intrusive thought winning out and they go too far down the rabbit hole? Is it something they have done to survive and gotten a taste for it? There are tribes in far and remote places that practice cannibalism as part of their everyday lives. There's no stigma behind what they do, but here in a developed country, what is normal to one culture is considered barbaric to us. With such strong values as a whole, hearing that someone cannibalized another human being is difficult to swallow. But in France, in 1981, that's exactly what happened.
Welcome to Tales from the Graves, where shadows lurk and whispers echo.
Join us as we delve into the unknown, exploring tales of mystery, horror, and the supernatural.
Be prepared to journey into the darkness, where the line between reality and nightmare blurs.
I'm Jen.
And I'm Jess.
Together, we're the Grave Sisters, and we'll be your guides as we unearth the strange and unusual.
So find your flashlight, grab your shovel, and let's dig in.
The following podcast is rated for mature audiences.
It may contain graphic scenes of violence and explicit language that some may find disturbing.
Listener discretion is advised. Hey there, Gravediggers, and welcome to episode 15. I do hope you enjoyed the last few episodes, especially the Friday 13th bonus episode. We're now deep into spooky season and have a few more things up our sleeves as the holidays come up. So definitely stay tuned. I just want to thank everyone who is listening every week and all our new listeners on YouTube, or I guess watchers, whatever. We've discussed cannibals on the show a few times by now. Most recent one, Granny Ripper. Yes. But in most cases, it has been a theory, not a fact. Like, not something that, like, sure, Granny Ripper admitted to it, but they're still like, did she though? She was kind of cuckoo-cuckoo.
So we're going to be talking about a real one today.
Yeah. Today, we're actually delving into confirmed cannibalism.
Ugh.
If you're familiar with this case, you probably know who I'm going to talk about. And that's Issei Sagawa, also known as Peng or the Kobe cannibal. Yeah, like Kobe beef. He's like from that region. Sagawa was born on April 26th of 1949 in Kobe, Hoigo Prefecture, to wealthy parents. I know I absolutely mispronounced that prefecture, but we're just gonna roll with it.
Okay, so it was like a trust fund kid. Okay.
Yeah. He was born prematurely and was supposedly small enough that he could fit in the palm of his father's hand.
Aww.
He immediately developed enteritis, which is a disease of the small intestines. He recovered after treatment, which involved a lot of like vitamins and minerals and stuff mixed in with saline solution, so intravenously, but due to his fragile health and introverted personality, that led him to a strong interest in literature. Cool, not that big a deal, right?
Yeah, literature's awesome.
Yeah. This story made, like, there are parts of it that made me sick to read. So I'm just gonna kind of give like a little
disclaimer.
Yeah, there's a disclaimer. I'll say something like, this next part is bonkers. Skip ahead if you don't want to listen to it. And when I get to that kind of stuff, okay?
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So, supposedly, he first started experiencing cannibalistic desires in the first grade after seeing a male's thigh.
Excuse me?
Yes. So, like, while on the playground.
Damn, that look good.
Yeah.
Okay.
And a lot of the things that I'm going to be quoting from him come from a 2011 interview with Vice.
2011. He was born in the 40s?
Yeah.
And he was still alive 2011?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's only like 60.
Yeah.
Okay. Never mind. Okay, my bad.
So, this next part is cuckoo cuckoo. It's bonkers.
Okay.
All right, skip ahead if you don't want to hear it. Hold on to your everything here, sister, because you don't get the chance to skip ahead. Sagawa stated that as a youth, he committed bestiality on his dog and experienced cannibalistic desires for women. I'm not sure how old he was when this supposedly started to happen, but it's really messed up. Yeah. Still reading it right now and actually saying it out loud just makes me a little sick to my stomach.
His dog.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
His dog.
His dog, yeah.
Yeah. I've never wanted a dog to run away more in my entire life.
Yeah. All right. So continuing down this shit show of a person. He went on to attend Wako University and got a master's degree in English literature at Kwansei Gakuen University. I know I mispronounced all that. I am sorry to any Japanese listeners that we get now or in the future. I'm sorry. It was at the age of 24, while he was still attending Wako University in Tokyo, that he started to act on his urges. He followed a tall German woman home, broke into her apartment while she was sleeping, and had intended to slice off part of her butt and sneak away with his ill-gotten flesh. She, thankfully, woke up and pushed him to the ground. Sagawa was captured by police and was charged with attempted rape. But those charges were dropped once his father paid a settlement to the victim. He didn't tell anyone about his true intentions for that night. So, his dad owns a dealership. Do you know who his dad is?
Obviously his dad can drop money and pay for his bail for wanting to eat some ass.
Yeah. Literally, though. Like, literally. Flash forward a few years. It's now 1977. Sagawa is 28, and he's moved to France to pursue a PhD in literature at Sorbonne in Paris.
C'est bon.
C'est bon. In another interview, he stated that, I'm gonna give a trigger warning. It's not as bonkers as the first one, but like, hey.
Okay.
He stated that almost every night I would bring a prostitute home and then try to shoot them from behind while they washed themselves in the bidet. He used another word, like for
themselves, he used the P
yes.
word.
No.
The V word.
The V word.
The V
but
word.
like, it just
Okay.
feels really weird saying this for the whole internet to listen to. I feel like, eh.
Okay, yeah. Let's just
Yeah,
wash
so
themselves
like,
down.
they were cleaning themselves, and he would like hold a gun, not directly against their heads or anything, but he said, I tried hundreds of times, but for some reason my fingers froze up and I couldn't pull the trigger. From around that time, it became less about wanting to eat them, but more an obsession with the idea that I simply had to carry out this quote-unquote ritual of killing a girl no matter what. Yeah.
Okay.
On June 11th of 1981, Sagawa, then 32, invited his Sorbonne classmate Renee Hartevelt, a Dutch woman, to have dinner with him at his apartment under the pretext of translating poetry for a school assignment. And Sagawa planned to kill her and eat her. But why her specifically? He had had many prostitutes through there. Why this woman? He apparently selected her for her health and beauty, things he felt he lacked. You see, Sagawa was short. He was only 4'9". Mm-hmm. And from the photos I've seen of him when I was doing research for this, which I'm sure I'll be posting like a little informational video, he was ugly.
He's ugly as sin.
He was not cute.
Yeah, ugly bitch.
Like, I enjoy Asian men. Like, I think that they are beautiful. He was ugly. He was just ugly, okay? And he considered himself weak, probably due to his premature birth and constant health issues. Sagawa claimed that he wanted to absorb her energy. I'm guessing that right now you are looking at pictures of him.
Yep.
And your face is saying, ew.
He's weird looking.
Yeah.
He's definitely weird looking.
Renee was younger than him. She was 25 and stood at about 5'10". I mean, the girl Dutch. Hello.
Yeah, so of course she's going to be a lot taller than him.
Yeah. It wasn't long after she arrived that she began reading the poetry at the desk. Her back was to Sagawa.
No.
He shot her in the neck with a rifle. Sagawa claims to have fainted after the shock of shooting her, but then awoke with the realization that he had to carry out his plan. I read other articles because I couldn't locate the original Vice article right away. He had apparently been inviting Renee over a couple times. Like, initially it was for a party, and that's where he decided that she was going to be the one. And the next time he invited her over, he couldn't pull the trigger. And then the next time he invited her over, he pulled the trigger, but the bullet was a dud.
Oh, it like jammed?
No, it didn't jam. It's like occasionally you just get a dud bullet. Like when I was doing my conceal and carry, they call it the wrap and tap method, where you pull the trigger and you realize you didn't get a bang. And so you've got to slide it back to eject the bullet. That's a dud, because maybe something's wrong with a firing pin or something like that. And then get another bullet in the thing. So it's called wrap and tap.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But anyway, he pulls the trigger. Nothing happens. And so this is the fatal time. This is the fatal time where he does pull the trigger and it goes off.
Yeah. So it was like a third time's a charm, basically.
Yeah, something like that. These next parts are rough. You may want to skip more than just 15 seconds. I am going to be spending a little bit of time here. If you're wanting to hear the messed up stuff, though, that he did, then you know, hold on to your butts. Just hold on to them. Just grip them real tight.
Clenching and go.
Okay. So he's killed her. He has successfully killed her. He rapes her corpse.
Ugh.
Necrophilia. He rapes her corpse.
One on there. Okay.
He attempts to bite through her skin, but discovered that his teeth were not sharp enough to do so. So he then left the apartment and bought a butcher knife. Mm-hmm.
So he didn't already have one? I'm surprised.
Right? Maybe it's a case of like he's fantasized about it to the point where he's like, I should be able just to tear through the flesh kind of thing. But his teeth were not sharp enough to break the skin. So he probably had all this fantasy and everything going on in his head about how it was going to go. If you haven't really noticed, flesh is real hard. Like, the skin is tough. It is intended to withstand a lot of punishment that we as humans put it through.
Yeah.
So yeah, he goes and he has to buy a butcher knife. He ate various parts of her body. Again, if you've like joined us here because you're skipping ahead a couple spots, you may want to skip ahead some more because this shit's just getting weirder. Getting more messed up, I promise. More messed up. He ate most of her breasts, face, her butt cheeks, feet, thighs, and neck. Yeah.
Those are like the worst parts. I mean, the butt is nothing but fat. The boobs are nothing but
I don't
fat.
know. We don't know
face
how.
doesn't have any muscle, really.
Those are all the parts that you would eat of like a cow or a pig or something. You know, Boston butts, the cheeks. Those are all the parts that you would typically eat of an animal, like a pig or a cow. It's like, think Boston butts, brisket, think, you know, chicken thighs or...
Now, thighs I understand, but like the face?
Yeah. Well, you also have to think he's Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
Over there, they really enjoy like the cheek muscles, the tongue. They eat chicken feet for the collagen. They eat pig feet for the collagen, I'm guessing, because pigs have a lot of collagen in them. So he's eating traditional things that should technically benefit him. Technically, in quotation marks. He apparently ate them both raw and cooked. Yeah. He, again, skip ahead, people. This one is...
Okay, we get it. Go. I want to know what happens.
He even admitted to swallowing her clitoris whole due to her being on her cycle and him not liking the smell of menstrual blood. So he...
You could tell he doesn't know anything about women anatomy.
Well, I think what it is he wanted to eat the clitoris, and he probably would have eaten other parts of her personal private area if she were not on...
Oh, okay. Yep.
Okay, yeah. He also then saved other parts of her in the refrigerator for later consumption. This disgusting person, Sagawa, even took photos of Renee's body at each eating stage. So he's just like carving it off like it's some kind of barbecue suckling pig. But she's raw. She is just a corpse. Okay. Now, eventually, a corpse is going to do what a corpse is going to do.
And it's decomposed.
And it's starting to decay. It is starting to smell. So what does he do? Well, he attempted to dump those remains in a lake in the Bois de Boulogne Park. I butchered that, and I apologize to the French people. he was carrying her dismembered body parts in 2 suitcases. But was thankfully caught in the act and arrested by French police. This was just 4 days after he had murdered Renee. So he had just been sitting at home eating her for 3 days.
Okay.
Sagawa actually confessed everything to the French police. But in true rich boy fashion,
Oh, no.
Sagawa's wealthy father provided a lawyer for his son's defense, and after being held for 2 years awaiting trial, he was found to be legally insane and unfit to stand trial in a French court. He was ordered to be held indefinitely in a mental institution. This is where things start. Like, I mean, they were weird and horrible before, right?
Yeah.
Well, this is where things get, like, especially weird. So, you and I have talked a little bit about kind of like Japanese culture and the macabre kind of outlook they had on things kind of during the 80s and 90s, right?
Yeah.
Because that's when that reality show happened.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. We'll be covering this reality show if you guys haven't heard of it, but it's like, it's fucked. It's fucked.
It's definitely.
Well, author Inuhiko Yamota visited Sagawa, and his account of the murder was published in Japan under the title In the Fog. Sagawa became something of a macabre celebrity, and it's because of that publicity that it's believed the French authorities decided to deport Sagawa back to Japan. So he's been living mental institution in France for a couple years, speaks with a Japanese reporter or author, and gets a book published, and now they're just like, holy crap, he's like, this is weird. We don't know really what to do with him anymore, because I'm guessing they were just flooded with people wanting to talk to him, people wanting to interview him, things of that nature. And the French authorities were just like, yeah, we're just gonna send you back.
We're just gonna get you out of here.
Yeah. He was immediately committed to Matsuzawa Hospital in Tokyo. There, he was examined by their psychologists. And hold on to your butt, dear sister. They all declared that he was sane and that sexual perversion was the sole motivation for the murder of Renee. Sagawa himself stated in many interviews that his urge was purely a form of sexual desire, and he wanted to merely gnaw on their flesh and not kill them or eat them per se. What the fuck you do?
What did he do?
Yeah.
He killed her
someone and he ate her.
Duh.
Sagawa stated, "It wasn't like I was eating someone every time I was hungry." He completely thought that the cannibalism was an extension of sexual intimacy of sorts.
What the? No.
This is a direct quote from him, okay? If a normal man fancied a girl, he'd naturally feel a desire to see her as often as possible and to be close to her, to smell her and kiss her, right? To me, eating is just an extension of that.
No, it fucking isn't.
The system is truly fucked, because the charges against Sagawa in France had been dropped due to the French doctors ruling him insane. And those court documents were sealed. So they weren't released to Japanese authorities when they deported him. Due to this, Sagawa could not legally be detained in Japan. On August 12th of 1986, Sagawa checked himself out of the hospital and remained a free man in Japan until his death. This doesn't mean that his freedom wasn't widely criticized, though. Remember when I said that Japan during the 80s and 90s was a bit fucked?
Yeah.
Well, between his release in 1986 and through 1997, Sagawa was frequently invited to be a guest speaker and commentator. He even appeared in a film whose English name is Unfaithful Wife, Shameful Torture in 1992 as a sadosexual voyeur. Yeah.
So far, he's only had that one person.
Yeah. He was not deemed a serial killer or anything else like that. It was a one-time thing. In 2009, he did his first interview with Vice. He went into detail about his cannibalistic tendencies and desires. He went into graphic detail about his killing of Renee and even suggested that, get this, she should have let him eat a small part of her while she was alive to prevent him killing her.
Oh, yeah, because I'm over at your house and you're a creepo. I'll totally let you cut a chunk of me off.
Yeah, like that would have changed anything. If he had asked her, hey, can I eat part of your flesh?
She would have ran out that freaking door.
Absolutely, and he knew that.
Seems to me that since he can recall in great and vivid detail that he might not have actually been, I don't know, insane.
Yeah. The problem comes from the fact that to deport Sagawa back to Japan, the French authorities had to drop the case against him, basically, as he was deemed insane by their courts, by their physicians and stuff. And the trouble arises in Japan when they examine him and they're like, no, he's totally sane. He's just a sexual pervert, basically. Yeah, but that sexual pervert murdered someone and ate them for 3 days.
And then tried to discard the remains because he felt shameful. And because, he needed to get rid of that kind of evidence.
Yeah. He said, and this is a quote, "This must sound rich coming from me, but the moment the girl became a corpse, I realized that I had lost an important friend and even regretted killing her for a moment. What I truly wished was to eat her living flesh. Nobody believes me, but my ultimate intention was to eat her, not necessarily to kill her. To this day, I still think, if only she had let me taste her just a little bit. If we had spent another evening having dinner and chatting about our families, I never would have been able to kill her."
Bullshit.
So those quotes I was able to get from a Newsweek article published in December of 2022. Sagawa produced a manga, a Japanese graphic novel for those who don't know what that is.
He didn't.
Depicting his crime. Yes. He also wrote books about the murder as well. And then started writing restaurant reviews for the Japanese magazine Spa. Eventually, he could no longer find publishers for his writing and struggled to find employment. Crazily enough, he was almost accepted by a French language school because the manager was impressed by his courage in using his real name. But the other employees protested and he was rejected for that job.
Thank God.
Right? Now, Sagawa's parents died in 2005, and he was prevented from attending their funeral, but he did repay their creditors and then moved into public housing. He was on welfare benefits for a time because, he could get a fucking job.
Which I don't doubt.
Yeah. In the Vice interview that I've been quoting, which most of it is from the 2011 one, not the 2009 one, Sagawa said that being forced to make a living while being a known murderer and cannibal was a terrible punishment. In 2013, he was hospitalized from a cerebral infraction, which permanently damaged his nervous system. He later lived alone and needed daily assistance. His younger brother and some caregivers were able to provide that for him. It was during this time that Sagawa claimed to have regretted his obsession with eating people. He died from complications of pneumonia at a Tokyo hospital on November 24th of 2022. He was 73. This whole case is just messed up. Like, he confessed to the French police, and I guess by their standards, he was insane. I would love to know what he was diagnosed with. Like, because they can't just be like, homeboy insane. He's got to have
he's got to have some kind of
what mental
illnesses
did he have? Because I'm pretty sure there was probably a lot. But I was unable to find it, which sucks a little bit, but it is what it is. But then he was deported back to Japan because he's getting a morbid popularity kind of thing in France, and the French authorities didn't know or maybe want to deal with it, probably. And I feel like it was like those women who were obsessed with serial killers and wanted to marry them while they were serving time for killing people. Yeah. Yeah, like the people who are obsessed with Ted Bundy and shit.
Yeah.
I am glad that Japan finally was like, hey, maybe being a murderer and cannibal isn't a good thing. But that one messed up reality show that we mentioned earlier just speaks volumes for Japan during this time. It's absolutely bonkers. They were going through a horrible recession, and they were basically just trying to keep people's minds busy or something.
Yeah, I can see that.
Now, with his death, I guess we can lay this one to rest. It kind of really sucks that Renee didn't really get justice because her killer...
No, she freaking didn't.
Yeah, her killer was a free man until his death, basically. Like I said earlier, while doing research for this and reading some of these quotes and the things he admitted to doing and supposedly did, I got sick to my stomach. I got a little nauseous. It made me uncomfortable. And I've read through cases like the Toy Box Killer, which I do intend to cover that one. That one, we're doing a preemptive trigger warning for whenever that happens. But how you doing over there, Jess? How you feel about this whole thing?
I'm pissed.
Right?
I am so mad.
Right?
He played them so freaking hard. And then
yeah,
it was like a sign to me. The first 2 times didn't work out, so it means it's probably not supposed to work out.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just ticked me off. It's like, we don't know what to do with him, so just send him back to where he came from.
Yeah. Yeah.
And honestly, I am surprised that he didn't keep doing it.
Right. I think the reason why he didn't keep doing it, especially after he got back to Japan, was the fact that everybody knew him Everybody knew
Yes.
who he was and what he had done.
So nobody would want to be alone with him in a room or anything.
Yep.
I could see that. I could see that.
I also wouldn't blame like the Japanese authorities, police system, whatever, to keep a really close eye on him. Just be like, oh, what's Sagawa doing? Is he being stupid? You being stupid over there, Sagawa?
Are you being a crazy person?
You
That
gonna
you
eat
were-
someone again?
Oh, that person looks tasty, huh? Don't take a bite.
All right. Well, Gravediggers, we'll see you next week. Same day, same place, you know, your preferred listening platform, as well as on YouTube. In the meantime, though, find us on Instagram, Tales from the Graves Pod. Give us a follow, send us a message, see previous posts for
We wanna
interesting
talk to you.
photos. Come join us in the graveyard, our official Discord server. We don't have anyone in there but ourselves right now, and it's very lonely. I'm tired of sending Jessica just memes all the time. But that means that like you can join now and like really get to know us, and get special badges or whatever. I don't know how that works, but I'll try and find out.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll just figure it
Yeah,
out.
we got a LinkTree. We got a LinkTree on our Instagram. That goes to everywhere. But for now, take care and don't let your intrusive thoughts win. How about that?
Sounds
All
good. Love y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
If you like what you heard, please feel free to follow, like, rate, and review Tales from the Graves podcast on your preferred listening platform. We also would like to know what you think and what topic you suggest we unearth next. Email us at talesfromtheGravespod@gmail.com or reach out to us at Tales from the Graves podcast on Instagram. And if you have Discord, join us in the graveyard. The link is in our bio on our Instagram as well as this listening platform. Thanks again, Gravediggers.
Oh, Jesus, I bumped the mic and it went all fuckered.